welcome to the Meta episode 40. Summer Scrub, Valve is alive. Lots of changes to talk about. We've been trying to talk about Silencer as a core for like 4 episodes in a row. I'm not confident we'll reach it in this episode. It'll probably take us another like 3 with all the updates that have been coming out, patches and Summer Scrubs like I mentioned and all the rest of it. We're going to break down basically the changes to matchmaking, huge update, and talk about what's good, what's bad, and where we think Dota will go in general. Cool, fun stuff like that. Joining me, the usual duo, Marco and Adam. Marco, welcome to EP 40.
Thank you. Big EP.
Big EP, big gap.
Big EP, big gap, yep.
Yeah. I feel like there's a joke in here somewhere about like whether it's your support MMR or core MMR that you're like bringing to the table in this app now that we split them all up, but it's a joke that I'm not able to find.
It will be interesting to calibrate those two, like for everybody, if it stays in the new season. But
yeah,
maybe that's a conversation for 10 minutes time.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to answer that, but we'll get there. But first, Adam, also welcome. I mean, first of all, welcome. How have your games been going? All the rest of it.
I wanted to wait like
longer than
sorry,
yeah.
I didn't have a witty thing to say. Games have been very interesting. That's all I can say. It's very weird. I don't know what to do now with the MMRs being split. It's like I used to play, solo and party, and now it's like you got to think of it as core and support. So Bizarre. It's like, do I not care about core MMR now? So it's like, when I play with lower ranked friends, am I always playing core? So that's the core MMR on the line,
Yeah.
It's kind of a weird thing to think about.
Yeah, it's super weird. It's like party isn't really a thing anymore. It's all just ranked as that's all that matters. That for me, my party MMR was 2,000 and my solo MMR was like 4.5k. So party MMR was, I didn't care at all. We'd play parties and it's like, yeah, I want to win. But there's nothing on the line versus solos where I'd be like, man, I really want to get my MMR up. Now it's like serious business. Even just playing party, it's like, man, I've got to like play my best heroes. Or just select hard support and soft support or something, and then that's a whole nother bizarre issue. Really is a new era.
You had party and solo, right? Or wait, your solo was higher. Never mind.
Yeah.
I was wondering what happens if someone's party is higher. Do they just get their higher the 2 MMRs? Is that
people on Reddit? Well, people on Reddit were saying that they got their party. They got their solo, and so that people were saying I've dropped like 1.5k MMR. But I don't know if that was intended or.
I think in the text of the blog update it did say it's meant to be the highest MMR that was taken just for this season.
Right.
And give it to both. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, because right when it started, it said, they reset it and said 10 games, and then you play 1 game, and it
shows both
calibrates you. Yeah, you only have to play 1 game, and since I kept that separate Excel sheet, like it was just any other game. Like I started at the same MMR previously, so
yeah. Man, rip Excel sheets. Me and Adam with our meticulously recorded ranked seasons now in limbo.
I'm going to have to add, it's basically my graph is going to go to where it was, and then it's going to split the 1 line into 2 lines, basically, I think, for support and core.
Yeah.
And I can watch the core MMR go down, and hopefully the support MMR stay steady, go up.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I mean, it's so funny, actually. When it first came out, this change, obviously, mostly I'm a core player, so my natural instinct was like, oh, I'm going to focus on core MMR. But the first game I played, I rolled, I selected all the roles and queued and got hard support, played CM and won. And I got something like 35 MMR, which is something we'll come on to, like how bizarre the MMR plus or minuses are at the moment. So I was like, man, support MMR, this is the real deal now. I'm going to get Divine as a support now. But then I think I tanked like 2 games, and since then, natural order's been restored, and my core MMR is like 100 higher than my support MMR already. So we'll see we'll see how that develops.
I do think this is like a direct buff to support players, though. This whole patch, you just don't have to ever wait for queues anymore.
That's so true. Yeah,
you get super fast queue times.
Yeah, no, it's definitely nice. Marco, I mean, how have your games been in general? First impressions as well.
First impressions. I mean, it's a weird one. I think we maybe will just play a little bit more unranked games because no longer can we just jump into a party and, like you say, not care 100%. And also now, because party games, you're going to be up in your core or support MMR, you're going to want to play serious, but then also means you're going to limit your hero pool. Like, playing a CM mid might not get allowed anymore in a ranked game when people's precious MMRs are online.
It's not even allowed. It's like, even you, like when your solo MMR's on the line, you're not going to want to just play CM mid.
Yeah, no, it is true. But then that's kind of sad because that means we would go to party games for a bit of variance, a bit of, not goofing around, but you'd play not your most comfort hero, you'd play off position, that kind of thing. So maybe there'll be a bit more unranked gameplay, at least from me / party, which I don't mind really, because then that's balanced by, well, now in these few party games you might play, they will be higher quality, we will be trying harder, and they're kind of more rewarding because now the wins do go to something. So overall, I think it's a pretty fun, cool, positive change.
Yeah, I'm excited. I get to play support in party games now, which is something
worthwhile.
Something I never did.
Yeah, it's definitely good, and like you say, it varies the party experience in Dota because you can dip into how it was for ranked and unranked, which for most people it was the same sort of deal. It didn't really matter, ranked or unranked. It's like maybe slightly more tryhard in ranked, but only marginally in your own head. Whereas now it really is a separation of you get the tryhardness of solo ranked in party ranked, but you can also play the fun games where you play whatever you want in unranked. So it diversifies the party experience, which I think can only be positive. So
the one weird thing, or I feel weird about the fact that you now could have this MMR that you've got purely from winning party games. So you may never have ever. So if you're someone in a party of people lower than you could get to an MMR level having never played in a game with that average. So say you're a 3 or 4K player playing with people 1,000, 2,000 MMR less than you, you could climb to 4K having only ever played 3K average games, which is kind of weird, but I guess has to be accepted.
Didn't they say they're going to take that into account, or that that was such a corner case? I guess maybe.
Well, go on.
That it wasn't. They weren't concerned with it, I guess.
Yeah, I think they said they've improved the matchmaking such that the games, when there is a variation in skill, is better balanced and mirrored on both sides of both teams, so that it shouldn't be as easy to be a high-ranked player, play in a low-ranked game, and win. Which is what
I mean. Now, instead of a one-person booster, it should be just a 5-stack of boosters, right?
That's a scary prospect.
Yeah. Or the other interesting thing is you can definitely boost your friends, because say you have an account, say I have a 1K account, right? If I have access to a 1K account, if I go and play on that 1K account and play party ranked with Adam, then we can boost your MMR. Obviously the 1K MMR account will slowly grow, but still a crazy smurf. And then you could go and boost my MMR if you take my 1K account and I go on my main. And you just repeat. It does feel like it makes boosting a bit more.
There is that MMR limit. Yeah, I think it's 2K.
It's true,
that you can't.
Yeah.
Is it 2K? Okay.
I think it's.
They also just said in the Summer Scrub, which I don't think we're going to talk about very much, but one of the lines, because it came out literally right before we started recording this, is that they just did a ban wave of suspicious account sharing, boosting, that stuff. So maybe they would
Yeah,
catch on to that if you share a lot.
yeah. It's
But yeah,
interesting.
that would be super easy to abuse otherwise.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel like in the past, when we've been talking about how do they sort of balance teams when you might have a guy that's 4K but he's only ever played in 3K average games and like all this stuff, and in the past when the answer's been, oh, don't worry, like Valve's on top of it, they've got algorithms, or they know how to balance this stuff out, and the same with this account sharing stuff, like, oh no, Valve, they're on top of it. In the past, I would have been like, yeah, they're not. I can guarantee they're not putting any time and effort towards that. But honestly, these last two Summer Scrub updates, Valve's putting in work, so it seems like, at least at the moment. So I don't know. I feel like definitely faith has been restored in some sense.
Just until post TI. I
Yeah.
expect to. Yeah, it says issued a ban waiver for players found exploiting matchmaking, botting, or transferring accounts.
Right.
So,
yeah. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. It's like, I don't. It's probably just because it's early, but the MMRs seem kind of wild. Like, I'm not playing games and getting plus 24s, minus 24s. It's like plus 34s. Minus, we played one and it was a minus 41 when we lost without doubling down, which was like just brutal. So brutal, crushing to lose. I didn't even feel like it was that, like we were that, favorite of a team. I still tanked 41.
Yeah, I think I'm going to assume that these bigger plus and minuses are justified, and that they get justified by one team just got higher average MMR, and so it'd be fairly significantly higher. Like the one anecdote I've got is the one me and Stan just played, and we got 44 plus 44. But looking at the badges and stuff, they had like 300 higher average MMR on their team, which is substantial if you think about when you used to play party games and it'd show each team's average and it'd be like within 50, 100 difference would be mad. So I feel like the cases where there are bigger swings are justified. I just think the system now has to have these more varied games but I don't know, because of this role thing and like getting people in the right roles and getting the roles somewhat balanced. I feel like they've had to accept that the games are gonna have more. Oh, that was it. Because with more party games being in ranked, I feel like we have to accept that there's going to be more variance in plus or minus, and that you can't just guarantee having a game where everyone's within 50 solo MMR, because it used to be the case that everyone might be within 50 MMR, but you don't know like how good they are in each core, how good they are in each role, and then they might be like party weirdness affecting it or something. So I don't know.
I wish they would bring that back, the average MMR of the game
on each team.
Just so you would kind of know, you don't have to show each person's MMR, just the team average MMR of the 5 players, because then you could determine whether or not it's a plus 18 game or if it's a plus 40 game.
Yeah, and even badges aren't fully transparent, because you could be above your badge, you could be
they're
below
totally
your
not
badge.
Transparent. Because I wanted to talk about that, because this game I played, each team both had 2 Ancient 7s, and then we had 2 Divine 4s and a Divine 5. And they had a Divine 4, a Divine 2, and a Divine 3. So we're like solidly ahead on stars, right?
Yeah.
And we won, and it was a plus 34 for us, and everyone else on my team doubled down except for me, so they got plus 68s. So it's still the number, the actual MMR number, because I think they probably must have like peaked and then they tanked, so their MMR is lower than what the badge says.
And then people can be capped by Ancient 7 when they're actually divine.
Well, but surely they can't be capped anymore.
Not anymore. Eventually, I think
if they've not calibrated. That's the case we had, actually. Someone hadn't calibrated the solo MMR still, somehow, which is, I guess, incredibly rare. So, that wouldn't be the case.
Yeah, the only reason I didn't double down that game is because, it was a 5-stack. We load in. Everyone's got a position. And our safe laner just first picked randoms and Underlord, and Mark's off lane. And I'm like, what's happening? I don't know how this is supposed to work. And then I guess they just saw the core positions as interchangeable because they're all core, right? So if you're in a 5-stack, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the other point I thought about, how you could treat, say, support as this throwaway MMR if you're playing in a party, and just queue as support, but then because you're in a 5 party, you can communicate that you're not actually going to play support.
Yeah, although I think that...
Oh, you mean you like get support MMR from playing cores?
Yeah, you could.
Is that what...
You could do that.
Yeah.
If your stack was big enough, yeah, if you had a 5-stack. Although I think from what I understand, Valve has ways of detecting what position you're playing. Because it gives you a warning that if they detect that you're playing a position that's different to the one you've stated, then you'll be punished.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but
maybe there's a...
I mean,
know.
Dota Buff can detect it, so Valve probably can.
Last night, my offlaner selected Lifestealer, and I was just like, I don't understand. That's not an offlaner. It's just like, yeah, it's weird.
Well, me and Nick played yesterday, and there was the guy that was given hard support, and Nick had soft support, and the guy just first picks Pudge Roam as hard support, and Nick's like, what?
Yeah.
Luckily, guess Nick's a top bloke who was looking out for my MMR, so he just went CM safe lane, but that was a funny one.
Yeah, I wonder if, like, the point you say about them being able to detect what role you should be, that will be true. I wonder if they only act on that if you get reported, or if they will act on it despite no reports happening to prevent that kind of collusion in a 5-stack, or if they'll just leave it for the solo cases of getting someone being reported after a solo ranked match. Not sure.
So you can't currently report for out of position, right?
I don't know.
I don't think it's not one of the criteria.
It really
but
should.
Maybe you could do that now. Maybe it could be added.
That would be such a simple thing to put in, and like everyone gets like a 1 warning, if not 2, being like, you've been warned that you've been given a role and not played it, and we can detect that you've done that. Don't do this, or else we'll give you a big ban. That surely is pretty simple to do.
Big ban. I also just gotta say, I'm in the Dota client, and I clicked on the game I was talking about and looked at the scoreboard, and now to the right of like player profile and heroes selected and the badges, there's the talent tree, and it has the talent tree marked with what everybody
Oh, nice.
That's actually sick. You don't have to scroll over to the levels now.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
and,
yeah, I'm on that.
And look at and you can hover
cool.
over it. That's really cool.
Man, a live game feels good. Some actual changes.
The big Pog U change was the hero grid now being customizable. That's one of the biggest, I think, that was
from the one that came
again.
out today.
Yeah.
You mean like
returning?
It used to be way back when. Yeah.
That's a funny one. I would never experienced that.
It was the previous Source 1
Right.
version, and like actually I was talking about that to somebody this week. We talked about how we had organized our grids, and I had like, because you could make the hero icons bigger or smaller too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I made all the heroes that had like high win rates on big, and I had them in a pyramid. And so like at the top were like all like my drought and all that stuff. They were big hero icons at the top, and then they trickle down to the very bottom where they're very tiny, very small. And I think it had like Invoker at the very, very bottom, maybe even off to the side. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen the item arrangement that's changed? I think it's improved quite a lot. If you go in demo, and you open the shop, the items are now categorized.
Oh, I gotta see that. It's actually one of my biggest drawbacks as a player is I can't navigate the shop.
I can never find anything. I can't find boots. The only one I can find is Blink, because that's easy. It's just at the bottom of the second page.
Oh my! This is
or
very
the bottom
different.
of the first page.
They had the secret shop. Oh, that's beautiful.
It is a lot
Thumbs
better.
up. Thumbs up from Adam. Live reaction.
Yeah. Well, usually, so if you were outside of a secret shop, but you clicked on the secret shop, you couldn't always see what the secret shop had or whatever.
That was so
It would be
annoying.
like it'd be the full shop list. I'm like, I'm just trying to find like the mana booster or whatever.
And also when you're next to side shop or secret shop and you press the shop button just to buy something from base and all of the icons are faded out.
Yes, yeah.
That's annoying as well. So
I also really like that when you go on someone's profile in game, that they load what the profile is, and it's not just this broken, glitchy profile that you're looking at. It's much smoother now. Like if you go in a past game, or you go on to someone else's match history and go in a random game, people's ranks will show.
It doesn't. Yeah, I hate that. It shows the rank of. Like, if you look at your own profile and then click on someone else's, it'll show your badge and stuff like that.
It used to do,
like,
glitch stuff like that. It's so annoying.
Yeah, very frustrating. I'll be interested to see what the frame rate's like. I know people complained about FPS drops, and I definitely noticed a combination of my computer putting programs on my computer that probably slow it down and like clogging that way. But also, I'll be interested just to see if the frame rate drops.
That's like the second thing is reduced frame rate hitches in the game. I really would be curious to see what happens when Terrorblade casts Reflection, or if like Monkey King ults.
That's a big one, the Monkey King ult. That's really like, how has that been in the game so long that it just lags for everyone?
Yeah, there's a point where like you have a PL versus a TB or something. TB presses Q and then the game just like freaks out.
Yeah.
Just lags. Also, with the shop, you can toggle back to the old shop too, so it's still in there.
That is cool. Yeah. Rip random button in ranked.
That should be removed. Honestly, I mean, it happened in one of my games, like with a guy, random Underlord, but like, it doesn't actually do anything anymore.
The random button.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not
actually
even
just
random.
Actively griefs now, because who's to say, like, you're a hard support, you random. I mean, there are heroes you can't play as support.
Yeah.
I know every hero is supposed to work, but there's just some.
Yeah, for sure. There are plenty that are just god awful, even if they don't.
Maybe if they change it to where if you were, marking support and then you randomly only get support heroes, maybe that was something. Or I did see where somebody said way back in Source 1, there was a random button where you would click it and it would just
wheel to a random hero.
It used to have a card view, yeah. So it would just like wheel to a random hero and not actually pick it. And you could just keep clicking that button and be like waiting until something, sparks your fancy and then pick it.
Yeah, there's no reason not to have something like that. That could be fine.
But now it's like, I don't think I want the random button to be in there.
So, did you say the random
so they can
button
grief the game
has been removed from ranked?
No, it should be removed. It's in there. And it's still just the
there.
Mango and Tango, or Mango and Fairy Fire.
I thought you might have said that it was removed in this summer scrub. Yeah, it really shouldn't be in ranked. There was good argument not to have it in ranked before this matchmaking change. Now with this new matchmaking change, there's really zero reason. Just keep it on unranked, where games are more casual, whatever. Yeah.
They also, when you look at the hero list in the client, they added a carry and support button.
That's been in there for a while.
Well, it's different though now.
Oh, it's different.
There's not different levels of support.
I see,
1, 2, 3. It's just core and support.
Right.
And so if that's already in here, I feel like that could just be your random list. You know what I mean?
It's interesting that some don't show up for either. There are some heroes that aren't a support or a core.
Yeah.
Keeper of the Light's not a core. Are you kidding me? Wait, Pudge isn't a core. Excuse me.
Yeah, actually, Pudge.
Oh, it says carry or support, though, to be fair.
Yeah, it's carriers.
Right,
Having said that, what does carry mean? Pause one.
Yeah. We've talked a lot about the merging of sort of support MMR, core MMR, and party not being a thing anymore. What do we think about the fact that now ranked Dota is completely roles based, just in general? Do you think? Well, I'll just premise this myself. Obviously, everyone's going to have a best position. For me, it's mid, and that's what I would try and play if I was playing solo MMR. But it's a bit weird now because I can basically eliminate the need for. I can never play a game that isn't mid ever again if I want. Like, there's no more rolling. I just do ranked rolls. So I feel like I'll probably won't play like off lane or soft support in any situation other than, say, an unranked party.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to think the implications that ranked roles will have on just the variance that individual people will have. I don't know the implications of just changing the whole rank system to be purely roles based.
Shouldn't you be like just over the moon excited about that? You never have to roll for mid ever again.
That is certainly good. I mean, I am excited about that because it means that whenever I want to play mid, I can, like, guaranteed with no drama. That's the beauty of it. And I in general, I'm happy with the changes for sure. But the downside, if it even is a downside, is that I never. Forced is a negative word, but like, people are going to be so much more specialized in general, I think, because they're just going to play the same role every game.
It is true, but it's also true that most people play unranked, right? Isn't that true?
Yeah.
And then they can just say, well, if you want to play something that's not mid, but you don't want to lose MMR, unranked obviously is just the option. But yeah, I'm with your point. It is kind of weird that you could have even more players now, even more specialized.
I don't know. I mean, there's like times where you load into a game and you're like, I don't really know which hero or like what role I want to play, and then some other people pick, and you can kind of counter pick the other team. It does definitely feel different where we're doing this roles thing and everyone's marked as roles, and it's just. I guess it was this way in ranked roles. I stopped playing it because the queue time got so long for Divine Plus, but there's no me not first picking anymore. It's like 5 support first picks every game. And it does like change the draft order. It's definitely going to be a different beast to kind of contend with. I do like this change though, because what they mentioned in the blog post is like, Dota 2 is a team game, and it felt very strange for the first, 7 years that I've played the game now, that the game incentivized playing solo, and that was all that mattered.
Yeah.
And then you had to play this solo, like party was for fun, for not caring, and then unless you wanted to do captain's mode or like whatever team matchmaking that they never really kept up with, you would play these solo games and just bang your head against a wall, basically.
Yeah, that's true. Let's think about.
Oh, can I just?
Yeah, go on.
Adam, I that is obviously one of the main points they've done this, and it is a really good point to put more emphasis on the team aspect. However, my point to that would be, maybe now our friendship's going to crumble, because where we all once saw party ranked games as our like nice balance between friendly but competitive mutual enjoyment, now we're all just going to turn into it's not like that book where all the boys are on the island, Lord of the Flies or something. We're all going to start like hating each other. I hate you because you screwed up this game, which has lost my core MMR, and before you know it, the fellowship disbands because we're not climbing MMR fast enough.
Rest in peace, New Meta Podcast.
Yeah, that could happen because of this change. So teamwork might backfire.
So it's a buff to the people that try hard, I feel like. Because I always would try hard in party games. And I know that's a different, that's not what some people...
Different philosophy to stands, right?
I wouldn't say that. Just different philosophy to just how other people take it. But I don't necessarily care about the core MMR, to be honest. But I always felt bad supporting in party because when people will not take it seriously, because supporting is a thankless task. So if you're just like supporting for people to be like, trolls and stuff, and just it wasn't the most fun thing. So now I guess in a party setting, if I play support, I'll be like super giga try hard. And then if I'm a core, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe that's how I'll view it. I don't know how many people are going to really care about both, or are they just going to focus on one? Yeah,
You'd imagine
That'll be
most people would
interesting.
focus on one. I think it is a kind of not harsh, but people who lose out are those who like to play both support and core, and now will have the time and energy divided
it takes
between
twice
the
as
two.
long
Yeah, I think that really
to
hurts.
grind. Yeah, but also I guess you can rank up from party now, so that's
Yeah.
a little different. You don't have to necessarily split your play time between
Yeah.
party and solo, so that is one thing.
Yeah, I do think MMR fluctuations in general will be higher just because every game counts unless you specifically choose to play unranked. Like, there's been periods of time when I've been playing loads of party and my solo MMR hasn't changed at all, even though I'm playing like a bunch of DotA, as that won't be the case anymore, so it'll be interesting to see about that.
You know, what's one interesting thing to think about, and what I've just even seen just in this first week since it's been happening, is high tier games. How these streamers are like partying up now to
That's
play
cool, yeah.
pubs, and it's really cool.
What I thought to that is,
Uh,
can they find opposition teams? What does the system throw against them? Because
I mean, they
most people
generally it's just like a high tier or high quality pub game, right? 7K, 8K
but
plus.
surely people who search solo queue, I feel like most immortals would put strict solo matchmaking on, so then they wouldn't let themselves come against the party.
I don't know if that got removed. That might have been removed.
No, it's
I
still
don't
in
know.
the game. It's still in the game.
It's still in.
Because that's what, So
It might get to a point where if you want shorter queue times, you have to untick it at the highest level. So people might just not have that because they want faster queue times and they want party stacks to be in the pool for their ranked games. It's definitely super interesting.
Yeah, there's like BSJ will be playing with like monkeys, or Mason was playing with Tomato. You could get like ranked
cool.
30 people stacking together, and
they found a competitive game.
Yeah, it was like BSJ monkeys versus Tomato Mason like stacks. And
also, I feel like if a pro team can be bothered to do this, you're going to get some stupidly high, like a Team Liquid stacked together as a 5.
Yeah.
Then they could boost Miracle's core MMR to like 12k. Because even if they're again, because do you know what I mean? Unless they just can't find games.
It's cool though. If say TI wasn't happening and it was in the day or even in prime time and people saw that Team Liquid were 5 stacking, there would be the most, like, the top pros would come together and be like, we've got to party up to face Liquid as like this high level pub stack. Like, you'd get some sick games happening.
Imagine Watch Tab like EG versus Liquid.
Yeah.
They just like stack against each other because like they know that, like, because they're all friends on on the game, so they
all
could
the
just.
pros have each
but
other.
then
they could easily just queue at the same time and just like snipe each other, basically. Just get the game with one another.
Yeah.
Because they already do that. They just look at the watch tab like, okay, that game ended. I can queue now and get a good game.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
It's
That would
always
be so sick. That would be so sick to get public, basically pro show matches on a nightly.
It's at the top level. It's always weird the way matchmaking works. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Basically, in Immortal bracket, like how pubs function up there. Another interesting thing to think about for the top, and not relevant to me, of course, but normally I'm thinking, Marco, like when you've jumped into these really high level games in Immortal, if you're with a bunch of triple digit rankers or even double digit rankers that are like rank 250 to rank 10 sort of thing, and you're rank 2.5k or you're rank 2k, the rank 2k player is like always going to be made to play position 5, right?
Yeah.
But that could just not happen now. You could just get the rank 2k who searched for safe lane, like he only searches safe lane on mid or something weird. So I don't know how that'll happen. I don't know.
That happened in my game last night where it was a 3 stack. I searched the 3 core roles because that was my off position, and then the other 2 guys searched 4-5.
Right.
So we knew that I was going to be one of the cores, and then the other 2 randomers we got were going to be the other cores. So it was 2 Divine 4s and a Divine 5, and then our mid was a Legend 6, and our off lane was like an Ancient 2 or something. And I guess that's just what they.
Do you remember what the
together.
enemy team had for the mid?
Because
this is a question I've thought about as well. If you have 2 teams, both 4K average MMR, but one of the team has the 3K player mid against the other team's 5K mid, that is a unfavored lineup, right?
Yeah,
sure.
it was Legend 6 versus an Ancient 4.
That's a lot of difference.
It was an Ancient 5 was our offlaner, and their offlaner was either Divine 2 or Divine 4. I mean, it was a wildly, if you just look at badges, it was a wildly not balanced game.
Right.
But they have 4 Divines and an Ancient, and we have 2 Divines, 2 Ancients, and a Legend. So,
did you win or lose?
Oh, we lost really, really hard. That was the offlane Life Stealer game.
Do you remember how much you lost?
I lost 21.
Ooh, that sounds quite harsh.
Slightly less than an average game, but did not feel like I was compensated.
I wonder in these games where we've won, say we won 44 MMR in our last game. I wonder how much. Oh, usually in the past they usually win the same as you lost. So the other team wins 21.
It's like so that game where I won. So the average is what, 25 or 24?
Yes.
So if the game where my team got 34, the other team would have got minus 14, basically.
Yeah, that definitely used to be the case because it used to show everyone's plus and minus, and it always would be the same, just mirrored on the score screen like years ago. But I don't see any reason why that wouldn't be the case still. Yeah,
I agree. But it could be maybe in the future they come up with some algorithm that makes it less like that for whatever reason. Or maybe for not necessarily for the whole team, but maybe for other sort of players within the team, you know? Like maybe the lowest ranked person doesn't lose as much for getting stomped or something like that. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
Seems like a lot of work, but they did say they were going to work on algorithms for maybe just the matchmaking component.
Another thought I had on that point of, Valve can detect if you don't play the role you're given. I imagine that would only be in these report situations, because I just had the thought of, suppose you play, like I played this POS 4 Lena, which at the end of the game, it looks like I could have been a mid Lena. Like I had so much farm, items, that kills, etc. But I did play my assigned role, if you like. It's just that a support can transition and do well. So
yeah.
But did you not buy any wards?
I would have bought some, not like a 5.
I think it will be like Dota buff. They determine that based on where you were in the first like 5 minutes, like where you were.
But then what if you do these weird lanes and.
Yeah, I agree. I think it makes sense to do it on reports.
I think it must just be in reporting cases they would do it, because no one's going to report my POS 4 leader that went crazy good and we win.
I might if you keep talking about it.
Yeah.
It's only for, I feel like when you lose, and like I wanted to report the offlane lifestealer, I didn't, but that's, I think, a situation that might happen. Yeah.
Hey, more reports for behavior score.
Yeah. My 9,940. It's not 10K for some reason. It must have got reported once. You get more reports. I'm not sure how many.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think. I'm not sure I've ever run out, to be honest.
I generally only report now if someone says something racist. That's usually just the only thing I do now.
Yeah.
Or if they like destroy items or something.
Yeah, I'm the same as you, I guess. If someone's just super annoying, like, I'll happily report someone after a win if they were just insufferable throughout the game.
Is that where I've got my reports from, Sam?
Maybe, yeah.
On the report thing, I'm the same, where it is just like racist or homophobic language that I would report, and it makes me think of the game we played with that observer Stan, and he had his teammates. I think we were a 2 and they were a 3, and a couple of them were disagreeable. We didn't get on very well. Anyway, and then like 10 seconds before our throne explodes, one of the guys said something racist or homophobic, and I was like, come on, now I've got reason to report you.
Right at the end as well,
Yeah.
just so you can click it like 1 second later.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have done it otherwise.
that happened to me too. We played offlane ogre and quap, like 3 ogre, 4 quap, and this Luna on our team was really upset, and he was just being very annoying the entire game. But I probably most of the time I would just forget right after the game's over and forget to report, and we won. Like even through all the complaining and everybody hating each other, we still won. And it felt really bad as an ogre putting bloodlust on this Luna that you just like can't stand. But his Steam name was Pretty Nice Dude, and as like our throne or their throne was exploding, I'm like, for a pretty nice dude, you're not actually that nice of a dude. And then he called me the N-word, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, here we go. We just get the easy report right there. This
feels bad.
Yeah, it's like those
not a nice
those
dude.
funny threads where it's like, these are the names someone's the most toxic player ever. I can't remember what they're like.
Pretty Nice
Yeah,
Dude.
that's one of them. It's like
Mid or Tiny Airlines.
PMA.
Yep.
That's a
Oh
classic.
yeah, PMA. Yeah.
oh yeah, it was like a spectrum of names, wasn't it?
Reformed Gamer.
Yeah, that's a
Something
bad
like
sign.
PMA Reformed.
What was I going to talk about? Oh yeah. Let's just spend maybe 5-10 minutes talking about why Valve is suddenly doing all these changes, what they have in mind. Do you think the future of Dota is bright, given that Valve is taking so much of an interest? Because I personally feel like these changes are like longevity changes, as in Valve definitely want to safeguard Dota against the kind of slow decline that other esports have suffered and could suffer. So I think these changes seem to put Dota in a good place. It'll be really interesting to see over the next sort of 2 years how the player pool develops and if it increases or anything like that.
Yeah, they're definitely consolidating the millions of hardcore, committed, devoted players they do have. I'd be interested to see if they put energy into attracting new players, or if they actually don't care about ever getting more than 10 million, if they just want to keep 10 million for 10 years. Because the things like tutorial and new player experience and how to learn the game,
even just advertisement, there's like none.
Advertisement
really,
and marketing, all those aspects which are very much related to building your player base, basically don't exist. They did mention in this summer scrub about some improvements for new players, I think they did mention, but there's obviously so much more they could do. Will they or will they not, or will they just be happy to just keep a hardcore group of players? I'm not sure, yeah.
I mean, it seems promising to me. Just the summer scrub announcement, just that kind of blew my mind. Like, I thought that Dota was kind of just in the maintenance period, just like maintain the game. Not necessarily after Source 2 came out, like not necessarily like all this big cleanup stuff. But so that was really cool that they're still working on it. I mean, maybe with I don't know if I want to get into conjecture, but like Artifact didn't work, right?
Yeah,
true.
They got to have more engineers for other projects at this point.
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely would agree. I think if Artifact had completely taken off, then you can guarantee that Valve would be putting their focus on other areas. Although maybe I'm wrong, and maybe things like Summer Scrub are so long in the making that it really wouldn't have mattered. I don't know.
Right. Well, then also their work structure is that you get to work on whatever project you want to.
What?
They're
really?
Flat. Yeah, they're flat, like for their software developers or whatever.
Oh, I'm
pretty sure that's right. It's just like,
right.
Yeah, it's like Dota's pretty much done after Source 2, and then with an update, a new hero comes out, and then like an update every 6 months.
Yeah, man. What software devs are going to want to do like bug fixes for Dota, a game that's like 10 years old, when they could be working on something new?
But someone needs to incentivize them to keep working on Dota, because there's so much money to be made every year.
It's ridiculous.
So I don't know why you wouldn't have massive focus on, not even massive, but a large amount of focus on keeping the player base like intact.
Well, the player base is so ravenous and so hardcore that all they want is just a little bit of communication.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, we're thinking about you. And that's why they've done 3 blog posts in 3 days, and it's crazy. They just go like months without anything. And now it's like, oh my God, they're listening to the community and all those summer scrub threads, all these bugs. Like the list is so huge. And just reading through it, it's like, oh yeah, I've run into that problem. Oh yeah, I've run into that problem. And it just feels really nice to read that they've been fixed. Like I was telling you guys before we were recording, one of my favorite ones is just that in Hero Demo, you don't have to click 24 times to level up a spawned enemy now. You can just click level enemy to max, because there was a level hero to max, a level your hero to max. But if you wanted to spawn an axe to deal some damage, they'd be level 1, and you have to click level enemy 24 times. Just the small stuff. I mean, I bet that didn't take very long to implement, just a little button.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I wonder if Valve regret not taking better care of Dota earlier, given this game's so old, and it feels like the joke being that it's been in beta forever.
It is, but it is still like the preeminent. Well, I mean, it's on par with League. I guess League has a bigger player base, but always when you compare the two games, Dota's always looked better. Like the client was always nicer. They had replays. They had, mic
support,
mic chat. But between teams, custom games, all that stuff. So it was. I don't know if there was necessarily.
It wasn't,
and like it was a self-sustaining model, and that TI was always up until this Fortnite championship. It was like the biggest prize pool esport. So it wasn't that they were being pushed really to innovate or make it better. It's like we have this dedicated group of people that are going to play. We have this dedicated group of people that are going to pay, $100+ million a year into the TI Battle Pass. We just need to keep them around.
I also think in hindsight, this move to have TI in Shanghai, and basically just like in general pandering to like China a bit, and I suppose other regions as well, because Dota's an incredibly global game. I think more so than pretty much any other esport I can think of. It's probably a smart decision for the long-term health of Dota. I feel like it'd be easier to lose, say, Chinese player base than the Western player base, simply because Valve's naturally, it's a Western company. They communicate in English on the whole before stuff's translated and all the rest of it. So basically reaching out to like China and these other places is probably a smart long-term strategy for them, I suppose, as well as making the game itself better. So it's probably all part of the equation for them.
Another idea is they might not be asked about bringing in new players, because they might see, we could invest loads of time and effort increasing our player base, blah, blah, blah. But then when it comes to money-making business, who's buying compendium levels and all that crap? It's the hardcore group of people that are going to put the money back into the game. So with that kind of reason, there's arguably not enough incentive for them to bother trying to suck up players. And also, they probably go, well, new players that want a lower barrier to entry, they're just going to be swept up by League anyway, so we can't compete in that realm. We have to just let the game, what's that word? Stay stable. Like, we lose some players over time, but we gain a few hardcore players over time, so we're happy with just equal.
Did you see that GIF that they made? It was on Reddit where Steam game popularity over like 10 years.
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, and Dota kind of just stuck as the number 1 or number 2 game for
forever. Yeah,
like the 7 years that it's been out.
There was a period where it did lose a couple million,
few
million.
Yeah,
but then it did come back up in a year, say. But yeah,
TI6.
Yeah,
is about where PUBG came out. Yeah,
true, with PUBG actually. It's weird. It's funny when you see PUBG. It's like a slingshot. Like
PUBG was
flies
like
and then comes all the way back.
that was like Icarus. Like it flew to the sun. It was many times higher than Dota's ever been. It kind of like dwarfed the chart, and then it just died. It just came way back down, and it's basically just CS:GO and Dota, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Do we have anything more to say on sort of summer scrubby stuff?
I mean, it was just for it not being a gameplay patch. There's been so much that happened this week.
Yeah,
Which is kind of crazy.
Immortal 3 treasure.
No balance changes, but just like still so much stuff to talk about.
Okay, Major and the Arcana vote.
Oh, Arcana update. Let's go. Two-faced beast, or two-headed beast rather. I've got all my eggs in the ogre basket.
I'm on the ogre train now. I've been converted.
Yeah, embrace it. I can't remember what the other ones even are.
So it's ogre versus void, which is annoying because I wouldn't mind void, and then the other is Wind Ranger versus Spec, and it's who really.
I feel like Wind's going to be in the final.
I threw it all into ogre.
Yeah, I think ogre will beat
from a support perspective.
Right. Yeah.
I hate this Windrunner fandom craze.
It's gonna be Wind Ranger in the final. It's definitely gonna be Spectre.
Yeah, it'll beat Spec, but then there's so much hype behind the ogre that I do think.
I feel like if you're not already voting for Wind Ranger, you're not going to start voting for Wind Ranger. Do you know what I mean? There surely can't be that many. Well, I suppose unless you're just unless you just don't understand the ogre hype, which is a lot of people. If you like don't go on Reddit.
If the 4 million sniper voters just went to Spectre, I don't know. Well, because there's also 8 million Invoker voters that have to vote for somebody new this time.
True. I think they go to Void, maybe. I don't know. They might maybe they go Wind Ranger. Jeez.
I'm just not pumped about a Void Arcana. And I haven't been for like the past 4 years where it's almost made it every single time. You know?
I'm surprised Void's that popular.
It was in the final last year, wasn't it? Lost to Rubik.
It's always
Why
so
is it so
popular.
Rubik Void final last year.
To me, that's really bizarre.
They're just so stoked on a chronosphere, I guess. I don't.
Time dilation, man. Come on, all the possibilities. I think Spectre, the actual hero model, could be made to look really cool.
Yeah, but then
I don't know about the spells, but I think the hero model could look cool. Wind Ranger, I don't even know. Like, I have no idea.
She has a lot of flashy stuff already, though.
The thing, she's got the shackle shot, which is amazing. She's got a lot of bows that change the power shot already. And then, what else is there?
She's got wind run cape.
She doesn't already have. Yeah, she's already got basically an Arcana. If you take, plus she's also one of the older heroes, so she has one of the most complete / diverse cosmetic sets. Like you can mix and match.
Yeah.
For play Barbie dress up for a year, like with all of her sets. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I got sick.
She's just very popular right now.
Immortal bow, immortal cape, her.
Immortal shoulder.
Oh, can you?
Yeah, that's the one with it's like the golden bird shackle shot thing.
Oh wow, that looks sick. God, you can have 3 immortal items that make her look really cool. She really doesn't need an Arcana.
Yeah. Ogre Magi though, that's the hype.
Yeah.
Dark Horse Ogre.
Yeah, man. Ogre's gonna be Ogre. Come on.
I'd like the they just gave him both of the axe mask immortals.
Yeah, I saw that one. That was so funny.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Or
just actually put a slot machine on his back. I mean, they kind of already have that, but
that's a great one. I love that cosmetic. The slot machine ogre immortal is so good. It's one of the best cosmetics in the game for me. I just think it's fun. It suits multicast so much. Right. Let's talk about Silencer as a core for like 15 minutes to wrap up the app, because this is something we've been trying to talk about for like a million years.
Yeah, this will be our summer scrub.
Yeah.
We will scrub this topic.
Finally get to it, yeah.
Yeah.
I've said it at the start. Well, the last two episodes I've said at the start, like today we're talking about Patch blah 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 and Ricky Core, and then it just never happens. The listeners at the end are like, wait a second, didn't they say they were going to talk about Ricky Core or Silencer or something?
So are we talking about Ricky or Silencer?
Silencer. Ricky's done. Forget Ricky. Maybe we'll touch on Ricky on Tuesday. I don't know. We'll have to see. But Silencer Core, man. I mean, this came onto our radar a little while ago when it was already being picked up a bunch, and then Marco played a game again with Illidan on his team. He played a Core Silencer. That then prompted me to play one. I've since played another. Marco's played one. So
Gork's been playing it quite a bit on his YouTube.
Yeah, it's a fun hero and it's a good hero. I'm only really familiar with it mid. I don't know if you could play it one. What do you reckon, Marco? One Silencer? Is that a thing, or is it just mid?
I think it would be equally fine to play it as one and just farm.
Yeah, it's not super XP dependent.
I don't think it's XP dependent. I think its weakness as a mid is that it's a very vulnerable hero. It reminds me a lot like a sniper. It's a hero where you can easily gank it. It's got no escape. It's immobile, really vulnerable. So putting it in the safe lane, to me, if anything, would make it a little bit safer if it's not too aggressive in off lane. So I don't think it's wrong to see it in the safe lane. Yeah.
It honestly could output more damage and harass from a dual lane perspective.
Yeah, if you there's a matchup like an Axe or there's some sort like a Brewmaster or a Phoenix who are in the off lane, and you think to yourself, I really don't want to have a melee farmer because they're particularly good against melee heroes. Yeah, again, Silencer. It's just like a Drow, if not a bit better.
Actual castable spells before level 6. Yeah.
I do think one of the advantages of the mid Silencer, though, is that damage-wise, it's actually such a high damage hero for securing CS, and obviously you can use glaives to secure CS if you want. And it's such long range with glaives that your harass game is just on top of most heroes in the mid lane. So it's
plus you can orb walk.
Yeah, and you can orb walk, which is super big. Really, really important. So I do think the hero's got a lot of strengths as a mid laner.
That is
in
true,
a lot of matchups. It's actually quite, if you're rotated upon, like you said, you're kind of screwed. Like, he's a slow hero that is extremely weak, like a sniper, but you can't even defensive shrapnel. But if you are left alone in a 1v1, I think you're probably going to do very well. It's really hard to deal with glaives. And another point is whether or not you max your Last Word or Arcane Curse alongside it. I think it's matchup dependent, but say you go for Last Word, you're actually a bit of a menace. Like level 4, you've got 2 points in glaives, 2 points in Last Word, or even just level 3 when you've got 2 points in glaives. Like, orb walking, CSing, it's really difficult for enemies to contest you. So I just think in the lane, this hero is really good. That's one of the things that shocked me the most when I played it. The laning.
Yeah, there's a lot of melee mids that you can just zone out.
Yeah, for sure. Even range ones, you just trade better because your range is so much better. Like if you're against like a Storm, or you're against like an OD or something, you're just going to outrange them and outdamage them so bad.
Especially a Storm that, spams remnants.
Yeah, for sure.
Just Arcane Curse and like, okay.
Any spellcaster mid that you're against, Arcane Curse. I didn't realize how powerful the penalty duration is in relation to the base.
Oh, it lasts forever.
Yeah, so base is 6, so you're going to get 6 seconds of DPS no matter what. But then if they cast a spell, it's a 5 seconds added.
Yeah.
The penalty duration is 5, so you're nearly doubling your damage output from that one spell. So it's obviously very common to be against another mid who's going to use at least a spell to help them CS or to harass. So if you're using that on a Storm or a Quap, and then you're trading with your W, you're in a pretty good place. And also the W, the fact you're not aggroing creep is so big. So yeah, it definitely can dominate a lot of 1v1 matchups.
I once played Tinker and didn't realise I'd been Arcane Cursed and cast Rearm and like all my spells about 20 times. I literally think I had about 2 minute duration Arcane Curse. You might have been in that game. I know Nick was in that game.
I remember that. And you were like, why can't I blink or something?
Yeah, that was it.
Because you had this debuff that was never ending.
200
No
second
ools.
debuff. I had to I think I did something weird like buy Yules and then sell it again or something. I don't know. It was that detrimental. I had to just sack 800 gold buying and selling a Yules or something. Or more than that, I guess. Build-wise for the mid-silencer, or indeed the core silencer, I don't know if it's any different, but I think the standard is to go triple null into Midas, triple null brown boots Midas, and then treads. I think that's pretty much a staple. It's what you do after that varies. Midas goes with the hero so well, obviously attack speed, and then this hero doesn't farm very fast at all, so Midas helps you in that sense. So I think that's pretty much a staple. And then after that, I think there's a lot of options. You can go for items like Atos. I can't remember what item I went for, but yeah, Atos,
Dragon Pike, Hurricane Pike.
Yeah, Pike
Rushes,
for sure. Yeah, I think Pike's probably the most common next item. Makes sense.
Especially with the 25 talents attack range, right? So that always goes together.
Force
with the
staff
Pike
feels
and
so
then,
good as well.
Well, yeah, you need a Force Staff or a Blink or something, just so you don't get blown up.
Pike's amazing as well. If you just pike someone, you're going to do so much damage to them with glaives.
Yeah, piking someone is almost a kill late game with
it feels like it
with the glaives. That gets into absurd territory of damage. If you have any amount of int stolen.
Man, stolen in endless scaling. I mean, Silencer in late game can do crazy work damage wise, especially if you build into an Ags, and then you can do it through BKB, of course. I mean, that Gork game, where it's 105 minute and he goes from position 5 to position 1. At the end, he's literally 3-shotting Pangoliers and stuff. It's ridiculous.
The fact it's pure, so BKBs, even if you've got massive armor, nope, straight through it. Then the Aghanims is like a DD rune, just constantly.
Yeah, it's crazy actually.
It's satisfying as anything if you get to that point.
Do you only go Aghanims against heroes that are magic immune on the enemy team, or is it just a core? How core is Ags for a 6-slotted silencer, do you think?
I think it would be core late game. If you've got 6 slotted, if you've got 6 items, I think Ags should be one of them. Or if it's super late game, you're going to consume it, obviously, but even if it's not super late, but it's just late and you've got 6 pre-consumable, blah, 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 I think it is. Because your damage output goes up so much. I don't think anything else will increase your damage that much, aside from Rapier. And you can guarantee 6 seconds of silence from Global.
Yeah. Well, you could probably do more if you do Last Word. And then by the time Global's over, it just procs Last Word. So, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Ags makes your glaives pierce spell immunity.
And twice as much, yeah.
So you can't pierce spell immunity initially.
Wait, you say they do twice as much damage if someone's silenced?
I believe so. Isn't that what the Axe does?
Causes glaives to pierce spell immunity and deal 100% more damage. So the glaive of wisdom damage doubles.
God, that's insane.
Against silence units, yeah.
Yeah.
But even if they're not silenced, and now they're just raged or BKB'd or spinning, you could still hit them with pure.
Yeah, it's crazy good against PA and stuff. But when they jump into BKB, you just slap them down.
I was wrong. It's the 20 talent that is attack range. Because 25, you get the extra glaives damage, 20%.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you get that as well.
Because it becomes 105% int to damage pure at 25, which is crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Which then becomes 210% to someone silenced if you have Ags.
Yeah, the damage does get out of hand, especially with stolen intel. In late game situations, you're going to have a chunk of it.
Yeah.
Another thing to consider about this hero is items like Sheepstick and Shiva's Guard are so strong late game as well. The hero doesn't fall off. He's got endless scaling, and these late game big items synergize so well with his kit. if you can stay safe in fights, of course, BKB is a pretty common item as well. If you can stay safe in fights, like almost sniper style, and just slap from the back lines, you do that basically as well as any hero in the game. You do it as well as a sniper. You almost have more utility because you've got this big, global silence rather than assassinate. So I think that's why silencer's coming in a lot more. It's just crazy, crazy damage out of the mid lane, or indeed out of the position 1. And if you can build a team around him that can somewhat protect him and be tanky around him and allow him to get right clicks off, he does it better than a lot of these big right click intelligence cores like OD and the rest of them.
Yeah, and it's just that if you buy a sheep stick or a Shiva's, it just gets multiplied so many times over between the pure.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's like those items become damage items.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah, more so than like an MKB would or something.
Yeah, definitely.
You stack int, and then you get the effect of the hex or just the slow from the Shiva, and then you also get like 75 damage on top of it.
Yeah, it's like you're not even buying it for the active, really. Like, you're buying Sheepstick, like, the active's amazing, but you still get 35 int. It's still good times. And even the mana... Well, I suppose late game, like mana regeneration, whatever, you're probably not going to have mana problems late.
No.
So that part doesn't really matter, but...
35 int becomes 70 damage with level 25 talent, and then becomes 140 if someone's silenced when you have Ags.
Yeah.
Yeah, items synergize so well. I don't think any hero has as much synergy with items. If you're thinking of a core silencer whose int translates into like double the value because of glaives.
Let's have a look at silencer. It's kind of hard to, when you're looking at what heroes he's good against or bad against, it's kind of hard to say because a lot of these stats are going to be done for the support silencer. It's going to influence it a lot. I wonder what matchups you think silencer's going to be amazing against. I wonder what silencer mid would feel like against Storm, because obviously people love to pick silencer against Storm because of global silence. I imagine its functions just the same as a core. You're going to do well against him. I think
you just stomp him in lane.
And yeah, you stomp him in lane. How does Arcane Curse work when he gets level 6? If you Arcane Curse him and he uses...
Oh, he's invulnerable.
Right, so it just doesn't matter. It doesn't sort of count, sort of thing. Because the debuff can't be stacked because he's invulnerable, sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Right.
What was the question? If he's got Arcane Curse on him and then he uses his ult.
Yeah, does it reset? Or does it add 5 seconds or whatever?
It resets. Oh, so Arcane... It doesn't add 5, it just resets it to 6. So it adds...
No, it does add 5. It does add.
I don't...
No, it makes it longer, for sure.
Well, I'm looking... Oh,
it does, because when I was Tinker, it was like 200 seconds or something.
Yeah, sorry. I'm in a demo now with Storm, but I just used the spells wrong.
Okay.
Use spells. Here's a trivia question. What is the scaling on Silencer's highest scaling stat?
So the scaling on his int gain?
Maybe.
I know he's got... I have a feeling he's got, his int gain's, the same as his agi gain or something.
Is his int gain better than Pugner?
I think the way Adam's answer it makes me feel like maybe his agi gain is higher than his int gain or something bizarre, but that seems like that'd be crazy. I don't know.
Has he got 4? Oh, I've just gone onto the screen. Never mind.
Well, I just gotta say, his scaling is insane on all 3 of his stats.
Oh, yeah? I'm gonna go on it now.
Yeah. I mean, he gets 2.7 strength per level.
3 agi gain? That's pretty strong.
Yeah, he gets 3 agi gain and 2.9 int. So that's why he can attack pretty fast. And when he's...
Yeah.
I mean, that's 75 agi, basically, just off of stats.
Yeah, it's not the best int gain, but 2.9. But it's pretty strong. It's the same as Bat Rider. Yeah, there you go.
People talk about Bane having good like one of the best stat gain supports, right? And his are just 2.6 for each.
Yeah.
So Silencer has more in all 3 categories.
Yeah, it's a true point, to be fair, yeah. I wonder if there's any warriors out there that know the like int gain for all the heroes. Surely not. It must be impossible.
There's someone
out there, maybe.
Someone does.
I
Yeah.
have to invite them for a special episode, perhaps.
Yeah, the ultimate pop quiz.
Yeah. The new meta-approved Dota pop quiz. The winner gets a signed taco autograph.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm not sure what else to touch on with Silencer core, to be honest, other than...
Do we think we will see him at TI?
Yeah, that's a true, yeah. I think we will. I think no one's going to play a Silencer mid.
I think
We might see one once.
Yeah, I think it might not creep out because the best players will pressure it too hard. Maybe.
I think it's better suited. You know,
it's hard to draft it. It could maybe come out as a last pick. It goes mid and it's got a favorable matchup. But I think in games where it's not favorable or neutral, it will totally fail because it's got no catch up. Basically, it's not got spells that you can always use from behind because his spells aren't super strong. He is very gold reliant.
Yeah, and also he seems better suited to a pub environment than like a 5v5 because of the reasons like we just said. He's gankable.
Yeah,
he's very weak, so against coordinated stacks,
I think
it's
they
harder
just
to
run
get
it
away
in.
with it.
Yeah, I wonder what his DotA buff win rates are.
He's got a 52.5% win rate overall. In terms of across different MMRs, let's find him. Silencer. So he's got a 51.5% win rate in Divine Immortal, so pretty strong. The highest win rate is in the lowest games where it's 53%. I don't know how that's split. Mid lane. If I go mid Silencer, actually, let's see what his win rate is.
I was going to say, a DotA buff going to struggle with these now. 2 different categories of ranks.
If you go on Dota buff and then go to lanes and then mid lane, you search Silencer and it says 52% win rate, but that's not by rank. That's just overall mid Silencer, 52% win rate.
Yeah.
So that seems pretty good. I like it. My main piece of advice or main tip for Silencer mid would genuinely be just try it out. I actually think it's easier to play than most people think. It's not like some specialist thing. Because the laning's quite comfortable, a lot of mid heroes, you try them and you just aren't mechanically able to use spells in the right way to lane effectively. But Silencer's actually really quite easy to lane with. You just throw Arcane Curse on them. Mana is quite forgiving. You can use a few of them. You can CS with Glaives when you need to and just glaive harass. It's very simple. Buy a Midas, which is pretty user-friendly. And then just run around doing damage to people. And sure, you'll probably die as the game goes on. You'll probably die a bit more because you're a Silencer with no escape and you're squishy. But I think you'd be surprised how accessible this hero is as a core. So I'd definitely advocate having a bash with a Silencer core.
I would also stress that, yeah, they're good and easy to play in pubs, but people should be aware, or you should maybe tell your team that you will be playing Silencer in the mid, but not necessarily as a mid-tempo hero. To me, it's a farmer. It's going to be a damage-dealing hero. So just because you're in the mid lane doesn't mean the one role should be played by anti-mage. I think that would have struggled. I think that would probably be a big struggle in pubs, that people will just think you're being a mid, playing a mid. And I don't think Silencer's... He's not quite that kind of hero, because I think he's way more farmy. We know he's super reliant on his team to set up kills, to control heroes, or to find ganks. Like, to me, he is just a one role, but played in the mid. And I think that can be problematic in pubs when there's poor communication or people aren't even thinking about the bigger picture.
Yeah, I agree. Because he even compared to Sniper, he's less of a tempo hero than Sniper. He doesn't even have shrapnel, slow, and headshot. Knockback. So he actually has no tempo disabling.
Does it?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
I mean, Sniper's great. He can initiate from way far with shrapnel. He can also get involved in fights from way far because of Assassinate.
Yeah.
Silencer can't do any of that. He could, yeah. So I think he needs to be seen more as a one played in the mid. Because he's got Midas, etc. So that's something to be careful of. I wouldn't suggest it if you've already got a really farmy late game carry in the safe lane that's not going to make space or get involved.
I agree. I like that.
Arcane Curse.
Yeah, decent little bit.
9% move slow, scaling up to 18. Very noticeable.
I wonder if an Orb of Venom. So that would work with Glade, right? Because orbs.
But it's ranged Orb of Venom, so.
All right, how much slower to get from
much.
that? Let's find out. Where do you find items?
You gotta go to the Dota wiki. Ranged Orb of Venom slow is 4% instead of 12%. So not very much.
All right. Final word on, well, maybe not final word, but final word from me on Silencer as well. He's got he's got one sick set, in my opinion, the Hush of Eternal Night. It's that one with the shield with the weird coffin
where
lady.
He's got the immortal where his face is covered and it's got the silence face.
That's a great item as well.
But the shield has the same picture.
Oh, that shield's terrible.
Which shield?
With the silenced face on it.
No, yeah, I'm not talking about that one.
Oh.
I'm talking about the one with the weird mummified woman.
Yeah, it's the first one on the store.
It looks like PA. His face looks like PA as well.
Yeah. If you go on
it's got
hero
cool
and
what was it called?
Hush of Eternal Night. It's the first loadout on the Silencer
on client. Yeah, it's a weird shield that. What's going on?
Also the particle, he's like CM Arcana, all the weird frost particles coming out of it.
Yeah, why have you got that female on the shield? Just asleep.
Also, the one to the right of him, he turns into an owl. That's kind of weird. I don't like that.
That looks like Clockwork in fancy dress or something.
It looks like CM in weird clothing as well.
That owl one is so stupid. That face, what is that face? That's all Silencer.
That's stupid, yeah.
Oh my god, that's insane.
Speaking of sets, where are my Dota Plus sets? Come on, I want some more Dota Plus sets. I've got 400k sitting there.
Just need to spend it.
Yeah, Marco,
spend money to make money.
What's your AM set, buddy? What AM set have you got?
I've got.
Is it cool?
I think it's cool. Yeah.
Okay.
I got special Adam. He gave me a couple items, which I'm eternally grateful for.
Right.
Oh, the Manta.
Yes, but you also gave me the burning set, and so I now have one weapon is the burning hatchet of the shifting sorcerer. It's not well known, but it looks cool. And then on the other hand is the manta, which looks very cool and is recognizable. And then the head is the burning one, the sorcerer, where it's not the super. Yeah, he's got his eyes covered. It's not the really expensive head. There's a even more expensive head where he's got a mask and ponytail, but it's still very cool.
Right. Well, take a look at the Oathbound Defiant when you get a chance, because I could send that your way if you're interested.
The Oath. Oh, that one. Oh, it's a bit weird, that one.
All right, forget it.
Shame you weren't online, because I gave Stan the golden axe head yesterday.
That's Pog.
Yeah, that's strong. Yep. Ep 40, Summer Scrub, feels good to be a Dota player. All hail Gaben, forevermore.
7 days till TI.
7 days
Honestly,
till TI.
It's like the peak life happiness of Dota players right now.
Yeah, for sure. Tuesday ep, some big new meta releases, announcements for TI and then also for other things. So definitely tune in for then on Tuesday for ep 41. But until then, happy rank rolling, happy Dotes playing, and good luck out there. We'll see you soon.
Boy.